So the next topic that we look at is all to do with skill. Different types of motor skills and skillful movement. First of all, we'll look at skillful movement. So skillful movement is a predetermined movement accomplished with maximum efficiency using a minimum outlay of energy. That's the definition. So what are the characteristics of this? Well, we failed on these in the mock exams. We failed to identify the characteristics of skillful movement. They are, it's efficient, so there's no energy wasted. So maybe when hitting a cricket ball, it's perfectly done. No wasted energy out there. It's predetermined. So a trampolinist will know a routine well before she starts it. She's not just thinking off the blocks, or he's not just thinking out of the blocks and coming up with something. It's planned. It's coordinated. So a volleyball player can jump and spike successfully. So they're not just jumping in the air, going for a spike, missing it. It's jumping at the right time, hitting it at the right time. Okay? It's fluent. So a rugby player picks up a ball and passes in one fluent motion. It flows. It's not stuttering. Okay? It is one fluent motion. It'll be aesthetic. So a basketball player doing a slam dunk, it just looks good. It looks right when you watch it. A gymnast doing a routine, it links to fluent, but it looks right. Okay, there's no miss moves, there's no stall time in the middle of it. It's all looking good. Aesthetically, looks really good. It's controlled. So a putt in golf is controlled. It's not just a wayward lash out at something. It is controlled, and it's consistent. So it's done quite a few times, not just once. You watch Ronaldo strike a ball in football, he consistently strikes it with skillful movement. You need to know those characteristics. That was one area that I was a bit concerned about. Could be a 6-marker, because there's quite a lot to talk about. You'd need to talk about each one of those, okay, to get the marks. Moving on to skills. Well, motor skills, okay? And all a motor skill is, it's a learned body movement that requires voluntary body and or limb action, okay? It's just basically any sort of skill or movement in sport. Don't be put off by the word motor skill. So, examples of this: walking, running, jumping, skipping, swinging a racket, catching, pike, tuck, straddle, forward roll, anything, passing a ball, anything like that, okay? So, we classify these skills on 2 continuums. First continuum that we're going to look at is the environmental continuum. Now, we did this in the AEP. The environmental continuum is how the environment, or the activity or the game affects the skills that you're doing. Alright? So we've got at one end open skill, at the other end closed skill. So closed skills are things like a drive off the tee in golf or an Olympic weightlift. There's nothing else going to happen to you in that activity. No one's going to come and do a slide tackle on you as you're going to lift the weights. It's on you. You decide when you lift that weight. You decide when you put that ball in golf. Again, no one's going to affect you. However, on the other side then, so the open skills, tackling in rugby, passing during a game of basketball, okay? These skills can be affected. So a tackle in rugby, well, you've got to be thinking, where's he going to step to? Is he going to run me straight? Is he going to do a pass before I get there? Is he going to hand me off? There's a lot of things that can affect you in that game. Could be, where's his support runner? Have I got someone tackling with me? Likewise, passing the game of basketball. Where's the person I'm going to pass to? Where's the space? Are they going to be running onto the ball? Is there someone going to be intercepting it? There's a lot more things to think about as opposed to just that putt in golf, where it's on you. It doesn't matter when you do it. In basketball, in football, rugby, you've got a number of things to think about before you make that skill or do that position. Okay? So, the difficulty continuum. This is how straightforward the skill is. Don't fall into the trap of you saying, oh, well, this skill is a simple skill because it's simple for you. It's not about that. It's about how many decisions you have to make to do that skill. So, for example, a simple skill, a diving start in swimming, okay? Off the blocks, into the water. There's not much you have to think about to do that movement. You get yourself on the block, you've got to get yourself from the block into the water. Likewise, an underarm service in badminton comes under simple skill. Holding the shuttle, we're underneath, we're hitting it. There's not many components to that, okay? Whereas a complex skill, there are quite a lot of decisions or thinking needed to be done with this. So, for example, an overhead kick in football. You've got to get yourself in the right height. The timing's got to be perfect. You've got to make sure when you kick the ball, it's going towards the goal. You've got to make sure that you're not going to kick into anyone else, okay? A layup in basketball, that's where you run into the basket, keep hold of the ball, 2 steps, jump. You've got to be thinking about where the opponent's at. You've got to be thinking about all the different steps, when to jump, where to aim, okay? There's a lot of components to a complex skill. So some of you might not be a swimmer, might be thinking, oh, diving, starting, swimming off a block, very complex. It's tough for me to do. It might be, but it is a simple skill, okay? It's not about how it is to you, it's how many decisions there are to make in it. A putt in golf, you could argue could come more towards a simple skill, but it is quite tough to do. You know, you try and get consistency compared to Tiger Woods to someone like who's never done it. Someone who's never done it might be saying, oh, it's a complex skill. It's not. There's not many decisions to be made. It's quite a simple skill to do, but, you know, it's not about how it is to you. It's how many decisions, how straightforward it is to make, okay?